My name is Dade. I'm Deputy Chief of Quincy Fire Department. I've been here for 21 year. I'm in my 22nd year of service with the fire department. I had a cousin that approached me and he said, hey man, why don't we go take this firefighting test? At the time, I was welding at a company here in town, a Napa manufacturing company, had been working there for 5 years, and was intrigued by the thought of, getting out of the factory and doing something that's like, yeah, that sounds fun and interesting. And so I went and took the test with him, and 6 months later, I was hired at the Quincy Fire Department. It was exciting to me, the notion that, I could be a firefighter. It's one of the last true professions that is kind of like an apprenticeship. You could know nothing about the fire service, and because of the brotherhood, and fire service is a brotherhood, so it doesn't matter the background you come from, whether you come from being a professional architect, to a welder, janitor, it doesn't matter what your background was, the fire service will train you and turn you into a firefighter, and that's what they did. Once I entered the fire service, my younger brother followed me into the fire service. He also works here at Quincy. He's been a firefighter. Michael Dade's been a firefighter for like 17 years. And we also have another Dade family member who's a firefighter in Chicago. Dade is now a Chicago firefighter because two of his older cousins became firefighters. So currently in the fire service in Illinois, there are 3 Dade family members who are now firefighters. Besides being a firefighter, I'm a grandpa. Man, I've got 5 kids and 8 grandkids already. I got 2 kids that haven't even started having kids. So we've got a tribe developing. So like I said, we're working on state domination. There's more coming into the fire service at some point. It means everything to me. Growing up, our grandparents played a huge part in our life. Granny and Pawpaw, that's what we call them. And so a lot of people shy away and they try to come up with, other names to not be called Grandpa. Well, I'm Pawpaw, and I love that. Now, some of them say Pop. They haven't got the Pawpaw down, so whatever they want to call me, I'm cool with, but it means a lot to me to see the next generation, my children's children, growing up and looking at me like I looked at my grandpa. It means a lot. So that's one of the joys of me and my wife's, life right now is now, she's Nana, don't call her Granny, The crowning moment for me in the fire service has been getting an opportunity to teach, to give back. And like I said before, it was a brotherhood. I knew nothing about the fire service, and the guys made sure that I learned. You go to academy, but even besides academy, when you come back, everybody takes a personal interest and makes sure you truly understand what it means. You've learned fire behavior, but did you really? And the guys make sure that you do. So getting to go around to volunteer departments, we may classify ourselves as volunteer, paid on call, career, but when people call 911 and the red trucks show up, they don't know that you're a volunteer, they just know that you're a firefighter. A lot of those guys do the same thing that career firefighters do for no pay because it's needed in their community, but they don't have the same type of training opportunities afforded to them that we do. So through programs like through IFSI, where they have a cornerstone program where they send instructors out into the field for free, so that we can make sure all of our brothers get the training they need. That's been some of the crowning moments for me, is to be able to pass that on and make sure that every generation come behind me has the same opportunity to learn this profession just like I did. Don't give up on your dreams. If the first shot, you're not hired, be willing to test at more than one department. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like I said, for me, I was fortunate it worked out that way, but I know guys that have tested at several departments before they landed the job. So don't be restricted by, just one department or one area even, be willing to branch out. If someone has an opportunity to work at a volunteer department, so if you're in a small community and you can do that, especially starting at a young age, a lot of times volunteer departments will allow people to start as early as 18 years old. That experience is invaluable. So, and a lot of times it's not overlooked by departments. If you've got experience in the fire service at all, that can also be something that helps set you apart. Diversity is important because when you start looking at bringing people in, if people don't see themselves in those positions, I'm only the 4th African-American firefighter to work here in the city of Quincy. My brother's the 5th. And so when you look at that in a community, what does that say to the young kids if they've never seen a black person on the fire truck? It becomes something that is maybe not even seems attainable to them. So making sure that there's representation, and not just at the firefighter level, but in all ranks, because one thing about diversity, inclusion, it's one thing to hire any one certain demographic, but it's more about making sure that they feel like they belong once they're there. Having diversity in your organization is good for your community because it represents your community. At the end of the day, if it's hard to talk about yourself, but at the end of the day, if people mention my name and you say, what was the legacy? Is this that, that he was true to himself, he was true to the people around him. I'm sure that no matter what level that I've achieved in the fire service, that at every level people can say, yeah, he helped when he was there. When I was a firefighter, when I was an engineer, when I was a company officer, and as a deputy chief now.